Shalom Yisrael. Let me give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Yahweh, being named Heavenly Father, whose name is He is, who He is to be, He exists. And the name of His Son is Yahushai, which you people in you call Jesus Christ, who are so-called black men. Alright, Waha Kwadash, Raka Kwadash. Much love to peace to the hopeful elect, and double honors to our teacher, Ray Millstone, who taught me this truth. I just want to get into this quick, I don't know if this is a bit quick, I use a few articles, as it says this is stuff of the end time headlines. A so-called Christian run and published website, and it says that multitudes of Iranian Muslims are coming to the faith in their so-called Jesus, in their so-called Christian. This is their way of wanting to Christianize the whole world. And we know that here it is, you got over 5 billion Christians in the world, and they're not making a change for the good. Alright, you got GMOs, which are coming out of the West. You got high levels of drug use in the West. So it's pretty much, what the scriptures say in the book of Matthew. Let me get this. Matthew, I believe it's Matthew 7th. Matthew the 7th chapter. Let me go see it's the 6th. So let's go to the next chapter, next verse. This is the book of Matthew 7:1. It says, "Judge not that ye be not judged, but with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged, and with what measure you mete, it shall be measured to you again." Now, here it is, America's pointing a finger at Iran, speaking about, oppression, right? You go into this article, I'll get into the article, but a little quickly, they want to speak about the oppression of their people. Well, America is the most oppressive and oppressed nation, right? You have people that go out in the streets and protest, and they get, some people got shot, all right? Some people got killed by the police, all right? Some people got beat down, they got tear gassed, all right? They got arrested, and you're gonna point fingers to Iran, So let's go into this. Let's go into the scripture here. It says, verse 3. It says, "And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considereth not the beam that is in thine own eye?" America's looking at Iran. Iran is looking to defend themselves from the invaders, because Colonel or General Carter spoke in a meeting, and he said the American government wanted to take out either 5 to 7 foreign nations, man. And Syria was one, right? Iraq was another. Afghanistan was another, right? And Libya was another, man. Now they want to take out North Korea and Iran. So it says, "And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but consider not the beam that is in thy own eye?" And what I'm getting to is America, all right, the so-called whites, the West, seem to want to direct other nations in a direction where you got to get your own crap in order, man. So America is just, and Christianity is just a nation or a religion of hypocrisy, all right, of pride, of white supremacy, all right, and control, man. This is Christianity is another form of control that the so-called West use to control the minds of all nations, all right, of all people. And it's really the language of the great whore, Babylon the Great. All right, Christianity, Catholicism, it's all one and the same. Okay, it's the extension, it's the religious branch, all right, that speaks to the other nations in the form of Christianity, man. Right? So this is not to save and to the well-being of Iran. It's really to infiltrate and to cause a coup. So let's go into this article here. It says, "By now many of you have read or heard of the continual anti-government protests that are taking place in Iran. According to the report, demonstrations have already left at least 20 people dead, and it's showing no sign of subsiding anytime soon." And that's really what the West wants. And they're going to use any type of article or information or disinformation possible to have people go along with Iran's the enemy, this and that. But at the end of the day, Esau's fulfilling biblical prophecy, so we can't get mad, man. Because I was getting stirred up reading this article and listening to that dude's video, and they really think that they're doing the good of the work of the Lord. All right, when you got 5 billion Christians and Catholics in the world, and you got homosexual rings, you got pedophile rings, you got organs being sold on the black market, you got high drug uses in the West and production in the West. They say Americans are 5% of the world population, and they use 75% of the world's the drugs created. So how the hell are you gonna point to Iran, all right, and tell them what to do when you got enough issues? That's why America really is that whore with all the issues and the problems. She's got all types of disease, and she wants to go and spread her madness to other nations. And how dare you, man? And on the behalf of Christianity, or the white Jesus. All right, so it says tens of thousands of protesters have formed the largest outpouring of anti-government opposition since the volatile 2009 presidential election. This is no different than what happened in Syria, what happened in Egypt. All right, you may have had a few people on the streets, and they like to blow it up, make it seem like these people are really going against the government, when you may have a few thousand people, and they always blow it up and sensationalize it on the media. And they also use Christianity, Christian websites, and they go into their churches and they preach about how Iran's the enemy, you know. So it says recently Dr. Michael Brown has come out and shared what may be another key to what is going on in Iran. Now, we don't care what he has to say. We know what he's trying to say. He's saying that, a lot of Christians Muslims are turning to so-called Jesus. You know, the whole world, there's enough so-called Christians in the world, and they're not making a change for nothing, man. All right? In fact, there's been more bloodshed and more tears and more death. All right? More oppression in the name of Christianity, man. All right? So let's get into quick history here. It says the CIA use of missionaries revised. Okay? I like this one better. It says religious crusades of the CIA among the Marqueers chapter in history of Central Intelligence, and the attempt to, I don't know what this said. It says among marquee chapters in history of the Central Intelligence Agency. Now the CIA is a intelligence agency that focuses on foreign matters, even domestic. All right, whether it be assassinations or infiltrating, espionage, whatever it may be. You know, really the CIA worked for corporations. All right, they've worked for the corporation, and they just advance the mineral or monetary wealth of America and nations who are coincide with or go along with the American way of life, right? The American policy, in other words. So it says Alan Dulles, who headed the CIA in his early years, was responsible for using religious groups as cover for intelligence activity. He had used them for spying even when he was part of the Office of Strategic Services, which was CIA's predecessor. Right? So it says after the creation of the CIA, the Christian missionaries played a very important role in destabilizing various countries. So you had so-called Christians going to other nations. All right, let's check this out. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and 15. It says, beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, right? But inwardly they are ravening wolves. All right, so here it is, ravening wolves, because of the so-called white man. And the West, the policy of the West is to destabilize and to destroy. All right, isn't that what the scriptures say in the book of John 10 and 10? John 10 and 10. John 10 and 10. It says, John 10 and 10. It says, "A thief come not but to steal and to kill and to destroy." Isn't that what they did in Afghanistan? At one point in time, Afghanistan produced 15% of the world's opium. Now it's producing 80 up to 90% of the opium of the world, since America's military are watching over the opium fields in Afghanistan. So what did they do? They went over there, all right? The thief went over there. Okay, another example. America was stolen. Was not America stolen? Wasn't Canada stolen? Wasn't Australia stolen? Wasn't a great portion of America, Africa, still being stolen, man, right? Mineral riches, oil, gold, silver, diamonds, rubies, right? It says the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy in the name of Christianity, man. Remember the scriptures say the wolf, alright? It says beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, alright? But inwardly they are ravening wolves. Here it is, they're just there to fill their own bellies, not to spread the gospel. They don't believe in the gospel, man. And the word gospel means good news. What good news have you brought to Africa? Besides your divide and conquer, right? Because your religions brought a lot of wars in that part of the world, man. Right? What good news did the so-called white British do in Australia? What good news did they deliver to them? What good news did Christianity deliver to the Native Americans of America, Latin American tribes of America, and Central America and South America, man, and Canada? What good news did you bring to them? You know. Let's go back to this article. It says, after the creation of the CIA, Christian missionaries played a very important role in destabilizing various countries and in carrying out espionage activity on behalf of the CIA. So here